Oh, I'm recording too.
3, 2,
Two.
1. Boom,
Boom
shaka.
shakalaka, mother.
Huggers. Welcome to the show. This is the Gents, and my name is Jared.
And my name is Dane.
Hello, Dane.
Hi, Jared.
How are you?
I'm quite well, thanks. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm well. What are we talking about today?
I believe today we were going to talk about. Hold on. Did you get a haircut?
Interesting that you mentioned that. I did about 4 days ago. I went for a haircut. It was a warm day here in Munich, around 2 in the afternoon. And I went down to one of my many local hairdressers. There's several of them.
Okay.
And I asked the guy, I said to him, "Look here, mate, can you give me a haircut?" And he said, "Yeah, sure, just take a seat and I'll be with you in a minute." And then I described to him how I would like to have my haircut. But yeah, I wasn't sure if you could understand the language that I was talking.
Was he foreign in any way?
What do you mean by foreign?
Like, because I mean, you're in Germany. Was he not German? Was he like from another country with a different language?
Well, he did give me the impression that he wasn't comfortable with the German language because he didn't immediately say hello in German, or he didn't actually talk at all. But what, I'm not sure. I know that the owner of the place, he is of Turkish descent.
Yeah.
And knowing this, I assume that this guy who kind of looked like the owner is also of Turkish descent. And that led me to believe that he wasn't perhaps new in the country and didn't really know the language that much. And but this is all assumptions, and they're the mother of all fuck ups, they say. So
when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me.
Nice. So basically, he probably was a fluent German-speaking person who thought to himself, "Who's this idiot talking to me in like sign language about cutting his hair?" You know, because I used my hands to describe what I wanted, and I started speaking kind of like slower, and like my eyes were all over the place, and just, you know, I was like, I said, you know, with my hands and everything, like just in very brief kind of like descriptive words, like short until this point, you know, just above the ears, and then leave the top, but you know, with the like a scissor movement of my fingers. You know, you get those scissors that remove the body from the hair, they thin it out.
Yeah.
And I said to him, and then you can just thin it out on top, because I wasn't keen on having a really short haircut. And I've had experiences before where I've left the hairdressers with a haircut that, you know, it ended up being too short for me, and I felt like vulnerable. But on this occasion, it worked really well. He understood exactly what I wanted.
That's incredible, considering what you had to go through to well, in your mind, to communicate this to him.
Well, this is, I mean, it happened very quickly. This is all in, you know, in hindsight, me thinking about it too much probably, but I think I've found my guy. Like, you know, it's taken me 35 years now, and now I think I know what kind of haircut I want. You know, I've gone through long hair, short hair, you know, this kind of cuts, maybe a little bit of body at the back, you know, and kind of those faux mullets were kind of fashionable. Remember that? Like just a bit of a tail at the back.
Yeah.
None of them seem to work.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm 35 years old. Just a little bit of free up the ears, and then keep it nice, because I'm lucky enough to not suffer from male pattern balding. So why not keep the hair that I have and keep it a little bit longer on top? How about you? You look like you haven't had a haircut.
Yeah, I haven't had a haircut for, I think the last haircut I had was a trim about maybe 4 months ago, could be. Yeah, I'm quite you could say, like, I don't really care too much about hair. Like, it's hair and it's there. Like, I do get, like, at times, like, a little bit like self-conscious if I see myself in a photo or whatever video, and
which is normal.
Yeah, and I'm like, hold on, like, I don't see my hair looking like that in my mind, I think I'm like that in several ways. Like, I don't really consider that too much. It's just like an appearance thing. I suppose appearances in general, like, sometimes I don't care. Like, sometimes I put like effort in and I'm like, sweet, like, I feel confident in what I'm wearing or how my hair is or whatever. But a lot of the time I don't really care too much. And especially now at the moment, I'm in the process of shooting a video, and it's taking its time over like several weeks or months. And for continuity's sake in the recording, I'm not doing anything to my hair or beard. So
I see.
But a trim might be in order, come to think of it, like, because if we shot like 2 months ago or whatever, or a month ago, and now my hair's grown, that's something I haven't thought about. So maybe just a slight trim all around the head area could be a good idea, but not too much.
Well, this is what you don't want to happen, because you don't want to go, to the hairdressers, and then because you're shooting this video, if you have like it's happened to me, on several occasions where it's been shorter than what I had expected, and I explained this to the person that, I tried to explain it to the person exactly what I wanted. Like, you use your fingers, you're like that much off the top, and I think it might have to do with, I think it's easier for a lot of barbers or hair cutters or whatever you want to call them to, if they've got their machine, then they have their short back and sides, which they're like really good at.
Yeah.
And then anything else is kind of more of a challenge.
Yeah.
And having said that, I don't want to give too much money for a haircut, because I know there are places out there where you can go, I don't know, and get like a €100 haircut and have a beer or whatever, and the guy like talks to you and like makes you feel good, and there's like a whole kind of coolness factor to it.
Yeah, they make it like an more of a whole full experience than just, I'll cut your hair quickly and then you can.
Yeah, I just need somebody to free up my ears from the hair and make me look semi decent. But you'd have to be careful with that one. You'd have to go to either get somebody to recommend you a hairdresser, or if you know of somebody that you trust.
Yeah, I just wanted to, on that subject, like, this guy that gave you a good haircut now, he might have had a good day according to you, and you might think like, I found the dude, but then you go back and you're like, remember last time, same thing, but like, he cut so many hairs that he's gonna be like, yeah, cool, no problem, buddy, and he's gonna give you like something completely different. Because I'm sure they don't have like, I'm sure they do have templates and stuff like that they do, I'm giving this person that, but like, will he remember your template that was, the way you explained it, short up until here and then thin the top? Like,
well, if I go back, I'm just going to do the whole thing like Groundhog Day, just like exact. I'm going to try and dress the same too.
Yeah,
and then
totally.
Just same time, and just make sure that the stars align. And then he's got his A game. You never know. He might be hungover.
Yeah.
So, but this comes back to, I suppose, trusting people or just trusting the universe.
Yeah.
That it'll happen. And at the end of the day, let's say worst case scenario, like he cuts too much off.
Yeah.
You're still going to go ahead and shoot that video. And if
Yeah.
people notice or not is, debatable.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a big kind of difference. Or you could just wait 2 weeks until it grows out a little bit more and then.
Yeah, totally. Quite a cool thing for me though is my significant other is a trained hairdresser, and she's worked as that professionally for some years. So yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, it's quite easy.
You got no excuse.
The only excuse is she doesn't dig doing it anymore. So it's not a job anymore, and she prefers to not do it. But she doesn't mind doing mine, but still, that's not an excuse at all. But yeah, it's just getting around to it. Really, it's not a priority for me. Like I've got other things that are priorities, and
I know, like you said, your last trim was 4 months ago.
Yeah, probably.
And I mean, I've gone stages where I've been, I always go to the hairdresser when it's like, it's getting to the point now where it's like you mentioned, like you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, like, who are you?
Yeah, totally. You like shock yourself in a way.
Where some guys, like, their hair just doesn't grow. They probably go to the hairdresser every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like they're always there. They're like weekly, maybe.
There's also people
which is ridiculous.
that have changing, like for me, like hair seems like quite a permanent thing a lot of the time. Not only for me, but for like when I see the majority of people, like people have their hair that's their look for like ages, and then when they change it, it's like, wow.
Bon Jovi.
But then you get people that are like every 2 weeks or something, now the dude's got a mohawk, and now he's like got a side path, and now he's got like a mushroom cut. Like how, like firstly, where did you get the time? And like, I'm not saying I'm super busy or anything like that, but just I don't prioritize that much of my time to actually physically going to get your hair cut, because it's quite a process. Like,
okay, but on the one hand, I mean, he could very well be taking a lot of time to think about what his next style is going to be. Or on the other hand, he could be like, fuck it, next week I'm going for like the mohawk.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks from now, I'm going for the I don't know, short back and sides with the little, you get like the, what is it called, like the lines, maybe.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they go into like the eyebrow. Don't know if you ever had one of those.
Yeah, I've checked that. I did one of those by mistake once. Yeah.
But haircuts is like, because it is who you are, but it's not really, because although it is, because like if you think of a person, like you would think of him with a particular haircut, like everybody's got their kind of like haircut which they've had for the longest period of time.
Yeah.
And then it's very seldom that they'd be like, okay, cool, now today I'm going to go like grow it out or whatever.
Yeah. And something like growing it out, for example, takes ages.
Yeah.
So that is a long period of time that you're going to see this person with such subtle changes in hair growth that it's as if they got the same thing going on,
Because it takes at least 1.5 years to get any kind of like, decent length going.
Yeah.
And that's a long time to be like, and then it's, it's the hair isn't really that manageable, because it's like in between lengths, and it's like, what do you do with it? And it's like, okay, just wear a cap all the time.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of hair,
yeah.
Now, facial hair is also another thing, hey? Like, talking about barber shops and stuff, you can also, some of them they'll do your beard, they'll trim it for you, and like maybe even give you like a clean shave, with that cutthroat.
Cutthroat razor. Yeah. There's a couple of places, like you mentioned earlier about the whole hair experience and stuff. There's some places in town, some male barber shops that do the cutthroat vibe, and they I think you can like have a whiskey while you're there. It's like going to spend time at an establishment, and like chilling and chatting and
And why not? Treat yourself. You've worked hard.
yeah.
If you can enjoy that time to, you know,
Mm.
look after your hair and kind of like, it's personal hygiene at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
a whiskey and a haircut doesn't sound bad to me at all.
It sounds pretty cool. Like if you go with a mate even and like you both go
Yeah.
like have a whiskey and a haircut together. Yeah. Could be pretty cool.
But I suppose it could get a bit much, where it's like, it's just a haircut at the end of the day. Like, don't think too much about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just hair, like a mustache. Like outside of Movember, I've also, tried to, or I have worn a mustache for, let's say, at the longest was probably about a month and a half, 2 months of me having a mustache.
Yeah. You obviously talking about just mustache, clean face except for mustache.
Yeah, well, you'd start off with the
Beautiful worm.
you'd obviously, for me, I'd grow out the beard kind of thing, or a little bit of stubble, and then I'd just shave the stubble off and then leave the mustache, which would gradually grow.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of lazy with my shaving, so I like shave maybe once every 2 weeks, so you get that growth where you have like a mustache, which is a big, thick kind of caterpillar on your upper lip. And then it's a very strange kind of thing to have. It's like when you're walking around, I don't know if you've worn a mustache yourself, but
yeah, once.
It takes, I would say it takes quite a bit of like confidence to be like, that's why I was interested in it, because what is it about mustaches? Because I got a lot of comments. I was like, quite surprised at the amount of comments, because people obviously hadn't seen me with one before, but you kind of change, for people. Like just with that little piece of hair on your upper lip, you become a different person. People like are caught off guard almost. They're like, whoa, you look really different with that mustache.
Yeah.
And they look at you like, do I really know you, kind of thing, Whereas it's just some hair on my upper. I'm still the same guy.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like that with hair, all sorts of hairstyles and shit. But the mustache, especially, because the kind of association you get with mustaches on certain like people's like face shapes and stuff. Like I think the shape of my face when I'm clean shaven, except for a mustache, like it's kind of like people won't want me alone in a room with their kids, that kind of vibe. But like just because of the appearance, it looks kind of kiddie fiddlerish. But like then you get dudes that pull off mustaches, like Queen, Freddie Mercury. He fucking wore the shit out of that mustache. I mean, and it suited his character. And I suppose there was the whole homosexual thing. Sometimes that
kind of probably ruined it a little bit for a lot of people, though. Hey, like fair enough. Great artist, one of the best,
but he had a mustache.
No, it's not that. Yeah, but the fact that he had a mustache has made mustaches like a little bit. On the one hand, they've got that rugged kind of like cowboy, or you work with your hands kind of thing.
Yeah, or like a Magnum PI, man's man.
But then on the other hand, they have a kind of like a gay Freddie Mercury vibe.
Yeah, I think it depends on the what's behind the mustache, because you can have a mustache, and if what's behind it is a rugged man, then it's more likely that it's going to be associated with that kind of ruggedness. But if behind that you have me, like I don't know, boyish or whatever, and it's like there's something else going on, like a boy man with a mustache. Just I don't know, that doesn't really work.
especially like a really thick one.
I've seen you with a mustache, and you don't look, you don't actually look like boy manish, and you look reasonably rugged, but you're not like that because of you're not like this big man's man type of thing. You're, I don't know, it just looks pretty good. I must say, I must compliment you on that. You wear a
Thank
mustache.
you. It means a lot to me. And I thought to myself, because you got to play your cards that you have, like I got a beard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have like a full a beard like you have.
Yeah.
Well done on that.
Thanks.
But I have certain spots are they're good. It's not like, but it doesn't connect. Like, the end of the mustache doesn't connect with the bottom part, where
So you could
where
never
you're
do full on like goatee.
I couldn't do a handlebar mustache
Okay.
because the handlebar goes right down to the chin, right?
Yeah. Or yeah, pretty much there on the chin line.
But the growth that I do have on my upper lip is good, like
Mm.
to the like it goes fairly good. It gets out there, so I could do the twispy thing, when they do the twispy
Yes. A bit of a
corner thing
title.
but that's almost like I don't know, hippie, right? Hipster? No, not hippie.
Hipsterish. Like
Like hipsters have that, don't they? Where they twirl it.
yeah. And to me, like, I mean, I don't want to like judge anybody. People must do what they want. But if I had to do that, I would feel like I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. It just
Like
I feel
uncomfortable, kind of.
yeah, maybe like I'm trying to be entertaining all the time or funny or um like look at my mustache. When I walk into a room, it's like I'm thinking about my mustache as people look at me, and I'm like, what do they think of my
It's
mustache?
like drawing attention to you,
Yeah, peacocking, I guess. Yeah,
I suppose.
could be.
But then again, like,
It's not a bad thing.
it's not a bad thing. But I think fair enough. There are loads of reasons out there why somebody would twist up their mustache like that. And maybe it reminds them of their granddad, and it's a form of like an ode to their grandfather or grandmother, whoever, whatever, and or they just like putting like wax into their hair. They like that feeling, or it could be like you mentioned, peacocking, like just generally trying to attract people's attention to your face through these twists. But like because a mustache is enough, a mustache is already a eye catcher, but now you twist it, you're twisping it. So, and then you have to ask yourself why.
Just in case they missed the fact that there's the mustache, like it's extra, look
It's
the mustache.
pimped.
Yeah, pimped mustache. Yeah. It's well no, I think it's just like people have hairstyles and whatnot, and yeah, it's just another thing to personalize, and yeah, I suppose it's just peacocking, and like a lot of people take a lot of pride in their appearance, and maybe that's like a self-worth, self-confidence. Maybe it's related to that in a way. Uh,
You mean lack of, or
or not a lack, like they're confident enough to be like, I don't mind if people look at me and I want to do this thing with my mustache, like adding the twirlies or whatever. Like for me personally, I feel like with the way I don't pay that much attention to the hair on my head and face, I almost stand out in a way as well. But it might be to some, they might be like, oh, like that's a bit rough, or like, did you just wake up or whatever? But
it is a statement.
It could be a statement. Like for me, it's kind of laziness. Like I haven't got around to getting a haircut, or I have reasons why I haven't, and then it's like, I'll just shower and rub it, and then I'll go out of the house. Go to work.
But like it suits you though. like it frames your the beautiful face that you do have. It frames it
Thanks.
nicely.
Thanks.
Like you've got the hair and then the beard.
Mm.
No, like you don't see your ears though.
Yeah, yeah. You hardly see my ears.
But
Uh,
that's how you get that nice kind of frame.
yeah, I quite like the like if I put my hair behind my ears, like I don't really like what happens then. You get this ear there, you know, and the hair becomes like this kind of like makes me think of like what Donald Trump's hair looks like. It's like this thing that he puts on that that is going from his like forehead over the ear to the back. Um, maybe that's like a lack of sideburns that he has. I'm not sure.
No, I think with him is what he's doing. He's going forward and he's going backwards at the same time.
Okay.
Like if you look at it closely, you'll notice that it's that's the most amazing thing about it. It's going forward
Mm.
and it's going backwards at the same time, which is impossible, really. But
So
it seems to me that he's got. I don't know if it's a. It's not. Maybe he has thin hair.
maybe he has plugs and they opted to face them both directions to create more body. Or also would just be like a flat kind of uh surface, you know?
Yeah, I think there are certain spots where he's got some good body,
Yeah.
and then other spots where it's lacking a bit, and he's using the body
Yeah.
to get get as much mileage out of where there is good
Yeah.
body to get to the spots that are lacking.
Yeah.
And by doing that, he's having like hair which actually, if it was up to gravity, it would just fall down.
Mm.
But with the products that he's using, it's going up and then to the right and then to the left and back up again and down.
Yeah.
He's using a lot with the little amount of body that he has got, and this gives it that effect. But from a distance, he's got a full body, a full head of hair.
Yeah, from a distance.
It's one of his main characteristics. It's how you would describe him. Like if
Mm.
you're writing a book,
Yeah. Yeah.
full head of hair. Although if you look closely, it's not.
Yeah, there's it's a bit deceptive. Yeah. But regarding that, would you consider any kind of forward back kind of thing with where you said you have like the gap where the moustache doesn't meet the beard? Is there anything that you would fashion uh, with what you have to
Well,
cover
I've got a
that?
few options. I could get beard plugs.
Yeah. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Maybe get some of my chest hair or something.
Yeah.
And
Bit of a
I don't know
transplant.
if you've seen American Hustle.
Yes.
Now the first scene is of um, Christian Bale.
Hmm.
Plays that dude, and he's basically got a comb over. And he's taking like, it looks like pubic hair or chest hair that he's like out of and he's putting that on the bald spot and folding over the hair, so it gives it that
Like a yeah, like a
it gives
mattress
it
below the duvet kind of thing.
exactly.
Yeah.
I could do that, but then I'd have to grow out the sides,
Yeah.
like a Chinese opium dealer.
Yeah.
They have those wispy kind of.
Yeah, those are quite
They just
interesting.
have the chin hair, and then
Yeah.
like one or two. They don't have like a full beard.
Yeah. And
I'm
those
generalizing. I'm
long,
sure there are Chinese people with full beards,
yeah, but we know this character type of the opium dealer, like yeah.
like the like very white beard, older
Mm,
guy, like that guy from Kill Bill, basically the one master
mm,
who
mm.
stands on her sword in the one scene. And then I could just let that grow out and then gel it with some gel just down into my beard. But I wouldn't do that. No, I'm glad to say that I'm come to a point in my life where the fact that my moustache doesn't connect with my beard doesn't bother me.
And from an
you know,
outsider's perspective, like, you don't need to do anything. You've got a beautiful face of hair. It's great.
thanks.
Like, it really suits you. And I think maybe if there was that connection there that we are talking about, between the mustache and the lower beard, like, it would change your character somewhat. Maybe you'd be like more, like a motorcyclist or something like that. Like, you'd have that kind of character type coming across for people that you meet for the first time. They'll be like, this guy, look at him,
It's a part of who I am. And talking about hair and appearances, it's not really what counts at the end of the day. Like, first off the bat kind of things, people like to judge people on their appearances, but it's a slippery slope. We all human and we all make like judgment calls, but
yeah
I think you always have to kind of stop yourself and be like, well, I don't know, I don't know this person, so why should I just attach a opinion to him, just because of the way he looks?
But we kind of all, as humans, due to like our life experience up until this point, we have certain groupings of character types, and appearance is related to that. Like, someone's appearance can immediately make you make a judgment call and be like, first off, this person, he probably likes fighting, he has that look. And then chat to the guy for 2 minutes, and then you're like, oh geez, I got that wrong, just by like the way his actual character is when you chat to him. But I think people do put way too much onto appearance off the bat. And just from like experience of like being like going out to a bar or whatever, and you like see these guys and you see these girls, and you're like, you assume how they are because of how they appear to be from a distance. And it's only when you make that kind of like a sort of a connection with that person, with a little bit of conversation, and they reveal themselves to you, can you actually make like a true, not true yet, but like a valid judgment call of how that person is. Well, up until that point of how much you know them, then obviously, because then you'll get to know them more, obviously, the more you chat. But
it's like we're at a bar and we see somebody and we're like, oh man, that guy, like, he's probably into MMA or ketogenic diets or whatever, bench pressing, or I don't know. And we make all these assumptions, but like these assumptions only come from our personal well of experience.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is like just that. It's just our take on it. It's like, and there's so many other things and other experiences out there that are like, the earth isn't just black and white. There's lots of different things going on. And we don't actually know at the end of the day if like it's all this judgment, but I suppose originally, like, we needed that so we could like protect ourselves.
For sure. I think it is a kind of evolutionary trait or something. Like, that's how you are, due to like the whole fight flight response kind of thing. Like, do you stick around or do you get the fuck out of there because something's going to go wrong or whatever? Obviously, well, I think there's way less of that, especially in like just social environments or whatever, but that is ingrained in our makeup to have these kind of judgment calls that you make off the bat quickly. But like, another thing that I just want to bring up here is like people often get judged on their actions, which is like a better thing than judging on someone's appearance, obviously. But that too does not define the person. Like you can have someone that does something completely out of character or does something stupid, and one action doesn't mean that this person is that in a nutshell. There's a lot more to a person than what they do today.
It's like, well, how's the thing go? If you're a bridge builder and then you
Yeah.
suck a cock once and then you
No cocksucker.
cocksucker.
Uh,
I suppose that's a big action though, hey? Like, you're not going to suck a cock by mistake.
yeah. Why is it a big action though? Like,
By big, I mean, it's not it's not like for some people, it probably is like an everyday thing. I just mean like our bodies, I wanted to say unnatural, but it isn't unnatural because we have these mouths and
yeah.
there are these cocks and they fit like,
Yeah. Like a
like a
jigsaw
glove.
puzzle.
So I wouldn't say unnatural, but I'm saying like, walking, for example, you're walking all the time, like, or picking up things, or I don't know, something like that, where you wouldn't think twice about it, but to commit an act of fellatio,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to be in the right environment for that,
Yeah.
like it wouldn't just happen.
Are you talking about
Like you don't just
male on male fellatio, or are you talking about fellatio independent of sex, like gender?
is fellatio, is it male on male and cunnilingus is male female, or is fellatio just generally any kind of act with the
Well,
mouth onto a private part?
well, I think it's only with a penis going into a mouth, but I'm meaning a penis going into a male mouth or into a female mouth. Like, is a penis going into a female mouth? Would you say that that is more commonplace than a penis going into a male mouth?
Ooh, that's a tough question. It depends who you hang around with, I suppose. Like,
I guess.
um,
Are you talking about like in like our group of mates or whatever, for someone to, oops, I sucked a cock today, like that's then a big thing compared to if we were like a group of guys, like, we're all homosexual and we take part in that from time to time, maybe some quite frequently or whatever, then obviously it's not a big thing. Is that what you're saying, that it would be a big thing for you or me? Because I get that.
It would be a big thing in my life if that had to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't know about yourself. I mean, it would also be like a game changer for you, no?
Yeah, it would certainly stick out, like when I look back on my life, like on my deathbed. When in hindsight, well, it'd stick out then as well, I guess. But yeah, I'm just saying it would be a big enough event to be one of the peaks in my timeline. You know,
Yeah, it
like
would definitely be like
2018, April 20th or whatever. Like, yeah, that's when I sucked.
or word it differently,
Yeah.
perform the act of love on, like, if or because if you say, yeah, okay, we've mentioned it several times already, let's say it again, sucking cock,
Yeah, cocksucker.
it sounds so harsh. It's like people just It doesn't sound romantic at all, because it is a
Yeah.
very intimate thing, and it's like one of the most intimate things, I think. Like,
Yeah, but
and also a very natural thing for
for sure.
both sexes, no? Like, obviously, because we're coming from a heterosexual kind of standpoint,
Mm.
um, it would be if you had to say like, yeah, and I'd be like, how's it? How you doing, Dane? Like, how you been? And you'd be like, yeah, cool. But last Wednesday evening, I sucked a guy off.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked.
Yeah. And are you saying that if I changed the wording and if I said to you, "Hey, yeah, I'm great, man. Like, by the way, like last Wednesday evening, I met John. Yeah, we had a few drinks and whatnot, and it was like a really rad night and everything. And like afterwards, um, we like he made love to my face." Uh, and I was reciprocal in it. I was accepting.
Your face accepted his love.
Like that's what I'm saying. Is it a wording thing that you're talking about here? Like where?
It is a wording thing
Yeah,
because you
that
can
makes,
describe it one way or another way. If
yeah,
you had to say it like that, then I'd be more understanding or more appreciative of your new curiosity for
yeah.
the same sex, as
So
opposed to, oh, I sucked a guy's cock off last Wednesday night. It because there's no feeling. There's just
yeah.
like another act.
Mm.
But where the hell? How did we get to this?
I don't know. I really don't know. I suppose
Um,
it's because it's kind of interesting to think about, and um, I suppose somewhat entertaining as well due to the kind of humor we're exposed to at times. Like yeah, stand-up comics we listen to and whatnot, and yeah, I think that's where that comes from. The whole finding it an interesting topic and wanting to dive into it and like swim around in that a little bit, and it's kind of like maybe an edgy topic to just chat about for a little while. Not, I mean, not edgy for you and me, but edgy because other people um, will hear this. Uh, but I think you'd be equally shocked if I said any of those two. If I said I sucked a guy's cock, or if I said I made love to a dude using my mouth and his genitals. Like, I think you'd be equally shocked. Like, maybe even more shocked if I used the lovemaking one, because then it's like, oh, Dane's made a life choice here. Like,
yeah,
he's choosing to, you know, share his like affection and
his true
emotions and
self.
yeah, yeah. With
No,
yeah,
but I think what I'm trying to say is that if you're curious and if there's love involved and then it's none of that is a problem. But I still don't know how we came up on this subject. I think we were talking about hair.
yeah.
Um, uh,
Regarding hair and genitals, just to segue somewhere
mm,
here, what about
mm.
manscaping? Because we've talked about the head,
Oh, yeah,
the hair on the head, the facial hair, manscaping.
it's an
Um,
interesting topic. Yeah.
yeah, like there's several places where men can scape regarding hair. There's the chest, there's the arse. I mean, cyclists do the whole leg thing. And then there's obviously your junk, your groin, your balls and penis area. Do you
Well, let's be
partake?
honest. I do. I mean, I've got no qualms about this, and I think it's 2018, and in the past, men, that they often go on about the bush, like you should have been around in like the 70s or the 80s or even like early 90s. There was so much bush. It was
Should
like
have seen it.
either you're into it or you're not into it, you know?
Yeah.
And then kind of like tastes change. And, you know, nowadays, maybe it's making a comeback, maybe it's not, maybe it's, you know, it's clean. And I
Mm.
think before, men were just like there. That was it. You know, there was no touching of that hair.
Yeah.
Um, but that whole, excuse the pun, landscape has changed,
Mm.
where, you know, men are also talking about going to barbershops, and like it's not just a barbershop anymore. It's like a whole, you're pampering yourself, you know, you're like, you want to look a certain way, plucking eyebrows or whatever, you know. Yeah, I suppose it's got to do with like what the individual and what the society expects, you know, these days. But manscaping, I think it makes your junk look bigger, first of all,
Yeah, definitely.
which
I've noticed that.
is always good.
Mm.
And um, I think like a lot of chicks like it. Like they don't like too much. Like
Mm.
talking about fellatio, you know, it could get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with the manscaping, you could avoid that. It is difficult though. Like I've, you know, I've struggled because there's so many contours, and you know, it's not just a flat surface.
Mm.
So as soon as you get to like the testicle region,
Yeah, you have
you're going to
to
run
take
into all
your time.
sorts of problems. And I know there's people out there that look like they will foam up their balls, and
Mm.
they'll take a razor and like shave it with a
Yeah.
razor until it like shines. And I just can't imagine doing that because I would cut myself and I would bleed.
Yeah, I can't imagine that either. Like there's as you said, there's a lot of contours and whatnot, and like there's even like like I mean, depending on the temperature when you're doing it at the time, there's like, you know, folds and wrinkles and whatnot. And if a razor got stuck in the wrong place, like that's not where you want to be bleeding, eh? That's it's not a
No.
nice for that business. So for me, when it comes to the testicle region, I I just try and do it as close as possible, either using an electric razor where I'm very cautious, like making sure that I don't touch the skin because I don't want nothing getting pinched, you know, and or a pair of scissors, and the scissors will
Mm.
be just, you know, take your time, you know, breathe, you know, just do the job well. Um,
Like trimming a hedge.
yeah, yeah, and you can't be doing that in a hurry. I mean, who trims
No.
a hedge in a hurry? No.
Take your time. And that's even if you want to get that far down. You know, some people they'll just trim down or just trim above
Yeah,
the base
I'll leave a
or
little
around.
beard below.
Yeah, or leave a runway or a
Mm,
triangle or whatever. That's a
yeah.
little bit for me, not really to my liking, I would say. Like, if anything, it's going to be like a rectangle.
Yeah,
Um,
just a little lawn. Uh,
Putting green.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, because it's interesting, you know, it's like the hair is there. And, you know, I find I have a lot of like belly hair and like chest hair.
Hmm.
And it gets like really like long, you know, and sometimes, you know, I'll just think to myself, hey, I'm going to just shave all this off and I feel like lighter almost, you know, not
Yeah,
just, not even taking into consideration the aesthetic kind of, the
yeah,
aesthetics of it, just the fact that it's then, that hair is then gone, you know, and you
yeah.
feel kind of like, I don't know.
The feeling for someone that has a lot of like belly and chest hair, is that like like when you wear a t-shirt, it's like there's something padding between your skin and your t-shirt. Is that the
Yeah.
feeling that you get? That's interesting, eh? Like
Yeah,
I've
like I don't know if you get, do you get hairballs in your navel or hair
yeah,
and fiber?
I get
Mm.
fiber, yeah, like little treasures. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
get it because what happens is because my, the it's leading all the way to the belly button, and that
mm,
it's going from the top,
yeah,
from basically my Adam's apple, all the way down to the belly button. That's going to be hair there, and I think what's happening is I'm walking, and the t-shirt is rubbing against the hair, and there's so much surface area of hair, so there's more hair to grab, like the fibers of the
uh,
t-shirt, and take it and gravity will push it down towards the belly
yeah,
button.
yeah,
So
and then
sometimes
it
it's
just
like
pops into the
kind of
belly
like
button.
biggish, like nuggets, of like
Yeah,
disgusting body hair, but it's all natural.
yeah, it's like t-shirt fibers, bit of hair, bit of skin flakes, maybe, whatever comes off of your body throughout the day, bit of dust, some dust.
And then never shaved my legs, but yeah, I have taken a razor to my chest, my stomach, my genitalia. Not a razor. I mean, I'd follow your method there with the hedge trimming with the little scissors,
Yeah.
because it's such a sensitive area. But also the back area, the coccyx area.
Mm. Above the arse.
Yeah, just get rid of that too. Just for
I've never done that. I do have a little forest back there, a little glen. But yeah, I've never actually done anything to it. No.
I mean, I've never heard of anybody doing it myself. I mean, this is something I
Uh,
just
you
did
took it upon
myself.
yourself. Yeah,
So I'm sure there must be other people out there that do it too. But
I mean, I know there's oaks that shave their arse crack or whatever.
what, like
What?
inside their arse?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure now, actually. Like now that I say it, it sounds like a very difficult thing to do.
Like with a razor?
Yeah, like
Jeez.
I'm sure I heard a story. Like I'm sure some dude told me a
Nerves of
story
steel for
once.
that.
Yeah, there's a dude. I can't remember who it was, or maybe I can remember, but I just don't want to like hazard a guess. But there was a
Don't want to
mirror.
name drop.
Yeah, a mirror on the floor,
Yeah.
and like crouching like on his haunches over it, and
Yeah.
then there could have even been shaving cream and a razor, like going like giving it horns, just getting in there and taking care of business. But yeah, like
What a what a
it's not really
brilliant picture
something.
that would make.
Yeah,
Like if
totally.
you had to put it on your like curriculum vitae.
Totally. This is what I'm
Like,
capable of.
this is me,
Yeah.
like, or your WhatsApp status, or like that. Oh, but if you had a point and shoot camera,
Mm.
and the mirror was on the floor, so you shot from above
Like a
onto the
selfie.
mirror. Yes. Wow.
If you could blur the foreground and just have like your face clear, it would make for like an interesting framing of like,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
but to do that with, blur out all the cockery and the assholes and
obscenities you were gonna say.
and then have like a good smile and, hey, this is me. Hire
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, man. Hey.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, all fair and well, whatever's on the outside is cool, and like, appearances count for a lot, but it's like, it's a cliche, but what's on the inside really counts too. It's like you can put as much of a message on your outer appearance as you want, but if it doesn't kind of like connect or kind of like
Represent or
represent your inner value, Well, this is another thing. You can represent your inner values with your outside appearance. Like if you're into this whole uh, minimalism spiel or sub sustainable cotton or whatever, then you look at the person, you're like, oh wow, or he'll make a point of probably telling you, hey,
Yeah.
I made this t-shirt from
Yeah.
reusable stuff.
Yeah, or there's certain like religious gear, that sort of thing is very,
Yeah,
for
like
example, very revealing of like, okay, you're Jewish, you're wearing a yarmulke, whatever.
exactly.
But that's that's a very easy example of what you're saying. Like there are people that like, if they're wearing an upside down cross and like a pentagram, then you kind of know where their views are and what they're into. Maybe you could probably get like some music tastes out of that as well quite easily.
Definitely. And I suppose they've obviously, trying to paint a picture of who they are. I mean, they're proud of whatever, if they follow music or if they're, practicing Jews or whatever, then that piece of clothing represents that, and they're not afraid to show that, and they're proud of it. So yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
either proud of that or making giving people a way of knowing what they're like, so that they're more easily approachable. Even like that could be a reason,
I suppose, because then you just if you're into it, you're going to approach the guy, and if you're not, you're not, and he doesn't really want anything to do with you if you're not into, kind of, so almost like a filter.
Could be a filter, yeah. Could definitely be
interesting.
Filter, yeah. Yeah, man. Hair and appearance, and cocksucking we mentioned as well.
We did. Well, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same.
I think we have 14 subscribers now, if I'm not mistaken.
The fearsome 14.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. And it's always a pleasure to do this.
Yeah.
Really grateful for, like, in all seriousness, the opportunity to, first of all, to have such a conversation with you, Dane, and also to be able to get it out there and have other people listen to it too. Maybe they'd get something out of it. Maybe not.
Yeah. Whatever, it's a nice outlet, and it's a nice way into sharing some views with other people as well. Like when we get to do that, it's cool.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to try and do is get some video happening soon.
Yeah.
Get
that is on the cards.
Our beautiful mugs out there.
People see
our facial hair,
the faces behind the voices,
and still after that elusive snow leopard. We've got a trail. I mean, found some snow leopard poo. It was warm. It was hot, actually. But as snow leopards do, they just kind of disappear with the mist. But let's have faith. We will get that snow leopard on this show. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. On that note, I must say thank you, Jared, for this opportunity. I really enjoyed chatting with you and catching up and sharing some thoughts and whatnot and talking about cocks. With you, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Cool, man. Till next time.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.